Okay, hi, welcome back. We are going to finish our 3D picture today. Before we get started, like normal, we are going to go through the disclaimer first. So please note the use of sharp objects throughout the art project. We strongly advise supervision from staff or someone at home before using any hazardous materials or objects. The use of materials and equipment are at your own risk. So today, like the last class, we are using a glue gun again and scissors. So just be careful. These are the materials to finish off our picture. We have our stencil again, and then lots of different colored thin card or paper. Make sure you have white and at least 2 different shades of blue today. A paper plate for glue, a brush or stick to spread the glue, knitting needle, just like last time, or something long and round and thin. A black pen, so a black marker or something. You need some string. And then also markers, all different colors. Okay. PVA glue gun, newspapers to protect the table, the clothes pegs to keep things together when they're drying, your lollipop stick for folds, it's optional again, your scissors and a pencil, and again, cardboard from an old box. You probably have that from last time anyway. So let's get started. We are going to start with the small hot air balloons today. There should be a small heart template. Cut that out, please. And then I want you to pick a colored card and lay the template down, and I want you to cut around it 4 times. Okay, so draw around it and then cut it out. So pause this until you've done that bit. And I want you to do the same with 3 other colors. Okay, so I've chosen yellow, purple, orange, and red, just because I like the rainbow colors, but feel free to choose any colors you want. But the same as I said last time, try not to choose blue because it'll disappear into your sky. So choose something nice and bright. So there will be 4 of each color, and you should then end up with 16 heart shapes. So pause this until you've done all that and keep them on the table in front of you so you don't lose them. Then we are going to fold all our hearts in 2. Okay, so similar to what we did with the big hot air balloon last time. I find the lollipop stick comes in really useful just because it helps to push down onto the card. And don't worry if it's not perfectly folded either, okay? So what I do is I just gently fold it a bit and then I'll push down on the folded edge. So pause this until you've folded all of them. Then what we're going to do, you're probably going to be experts at this at the end of it because it's the same as what we did with the big hot air balloon. You are going to start with one color. So I'm going to keep these hot air balloons, the small ones, one color each. If you want to have them all rainbow colored, that's fine. You can mix up all the colors. It's up to you. But for me, I'm just going to start off with a red one. So you can see from my picture, you're going to keep one of them folded. You're going to always put the glue onto the top edge, and then you're going to take the next heart and you're going to stick them together. Okay, leave to dry unless you're using the glue gun because it will dry straight away. And then you're going to take the next one and stick it on top. So all the folded ones are just going to be stuck together. So it's almost like a big sandwich. And I'd like you to do this with all of them. So you're going to end up with 4 hot air balloons. So mine are all one color each, but feel free to mix the colors up. So this is going to take a little while, so just pause it until you've finished gluing them all together. Okay, once you've done that, this is really important, they need to be dry. Okay, so if you are using PVA glue, you can put your pegs on and stuff, or just leave them to one side. Once they are completely dry, you're going to turn them to the back, and then you're going to put your glue all over the back of them, and you're going to find somewhere in the sky to put them. Okay, so pause again until you've done this. And here's mine. Same as what I mentioned last time. Make sure there's a bit of space underneath each one so we can put a little basket in, okay? And I've just spread mine around the sky. And feel free, if you want to make more, and if you have the space, you know, you can always make a few extra hot air balloons. But just stick them into the sky and then leave them on a few minutes just to make sure they're dry. What I would say with this project as well is always keep it flat until you've finished everything and everything's dry. Because if you do lift it up too early to have a look at it, things might slide off. Okay, so just leave it until everything's dry. So pause this until you're happy with it. Right, now it's the baskets. So we're going to use the corrugated cardboard again, like you did in the last class. If you don't have any left, just do the same as what you did for the big hot air balloon. Just rip off the top edge, get rid of any little bits of cards that stuck together. So you should have a nice corrugated surface. Turn it to the back where it's flat and draw 4 basket shapes. Okay, so a letter U just with a line over the top of it. And then you're going to cut them out. So pause this until you've done that. And then make sure you put some glue on the back of each one. And then you're going to stick them underneath each one of the small hot air balloons. Make sure there's a little gap between the balloon and the basket. Okay, once it's dry, I've used a black pen and I've just drawn a few lines connecting the balloon to the basket. Okay, you can do 3-4 lines, and it doesn't matter if they're straight or not. So pause this until you've drawn on the lines. And then for the big one, I kind of wanted to do something different just because it's slightly bigger and it's easier for us to stick objects onto it. And I've chosen to put some string into it just to make it even more 3D. So I've got yellow string, but any color is fine. And I've cut off 5 little pieces, so you can see on the slide to the left. And then what I've done is I've put some PVA glue on top of the 4 little pieces, and I've stuck the 4 coming down from the balloon onto the basket. And then I kind of just wanted to decorate the top of the basket as well, so I put a little piece of string along the top of it, but it's optional. Like you can do it however you want. So pause this until you've done this bit. For the clouds, we need a bit of decoration in our sky, I think. I have just picked out a light blue sheet of paper and I've drawn some clouds. So clouds can be any shape you want. You know, it can be kind of, I just do a bumpy kind of circle or an oval. Okay, so don't worry about getting it perfect. We are going to stick things on top of the cloud anyway, so you're not going to see all of this. So any shape you want. You can do more than 2. I'm just doing 2 here, but if you want 3 or 4, feel free to do that. Draw them on and cut them out. And just pause this then until you've finished that bit. You're going to put some glue on the back of the clouds and stick them in. So it depends how busy your sky is. Like if you've made a few extra balloons as well, it might be hard to fit them in, but just see if you find the space. And stick them down on your big sheet. So pause this until you finish that bit. And then what we're going to do, we are going to get some medium blue and some white paper. Okay, and if they're A4, what I want you to do is I want you to start at one end of the edge and then cut all the way across to the other end. You want them thin, just be careful, like I said before, not too skinny, otherwise they'll rip on you. And you're going to do them slightly different to how we did the tree. So I don't know if you remember that we did the tree in the last class. We took our knitting needle and we rolled up the thin piece of paper around it. So slightly similar, but we're going to take the piece of paper and we're going to roll up until we get halfway along the strip. Then we're going to pull our knitting needle or whatever we're using out of it. And then we're going to turn the strip over and we're going to do the same on the other side. So if you look on the picture on the right, you will see that we get these kind of S shapes, okay? And that's what you want. So might take a bit of practice, cut out a few extra strips if you want, and just have a bit of fun with it, okay? So pause this until you're happy with your S shapes. And then what I've done is I've decorated my swirls onto the cloud. So what I did, I put loads of PVA all over the clouds. And then I gently pushed the swirls on top of it. Don't be afraid to squeeze them a bit tighter together. Sometimes you might need to just swirl them up a bit more just to fit them all. And it's okay if some of the swirls go slightly outside of the cloud shape as well. So as long as you're happy with it. So pause this until you finish that bit. Okay, so we are now going to become gardeners, and we're going to plant our garden. I want us to start with the stems, okay, and the stalks. If you're not sure what to do, maybe have a look out the window. Maybe you have some flowers outside in your garden or on the windowsill. Maybe have a look at them and look at the leaves, get inspired if you're not sure how to draw them. So I've chosen, how many have I done? I've done 5 of them, I think, but feel free to put more in or less. And I've tried to kind of vary a bit. So I've put different types of leaves in, different amount of leaves with my green marker. So have a bit of fun, use your imagination. You can even make flowers up you want. It doesn't have to be from real life. So pause this until you've finished all the stalks. And then the best bit, this is my favorite bit, is you're going to put your flowers on. So yeah, look at the window again, or if you have a favorite flower, or you just use your imagination. Because I was using acrylic markers, I had to be really careful that one color had dried before I put the other one in, because otherwise they kind of blend together. So just keep that in mind if you are using acrylic markers. Otherwise, it should be fine. You can put your colors on. Sometimes what happens with normal markers is you won't be able to put really light colors onto dark colors. So keep that in mind. I would start off with the lightest first, and then you add on darker and darker afterwards. And you can decorate them any way you want. So pause this until you're happy with your garden. And then this should be your finished picture. Like I said before, make sure that everything is dry. I think the longest things to take to dry are the swirls on the cloud from this project. And it's really important that all that glue is dry, otherwise the swirls will fall off. So leave it aside maybe for half an hour or so, make sure everything's dry, and then you can hang it up on a wall and admire it. And well done, everyone. That was a great project.